just got a ball and socket armature. This is from a while ago, a short film I did at the film board called Ode, E-A-U-D-E. So you control the movement with the armature. So you can take a picture, make a movement, take a picture, make a movement. I'm Thea Pratt, and I'm a filmmaker, a stop motion animation filmmaker and farmer. I teach workshops, taught all over the region, mostly in schools, but this time for 100 Mile Arts Network. And it was a great workshop with awesome bunch of people. Every class, we had the opportunity to shoot, to do some exercises. So the first class, the most accessible way of doing stop motion, I think, is plasticine, because it stays in place, it's sort of sticky, so you don't have to pin it down. I set up basically 3 to 4 animation studios, and we tried all kinds of different ways of animating. So puppet animation, cutout animation, 2D pointing down. We did bottom lit plasticine, where the light is gives you the line with a bit of color, because the plasticine sort of spread over. So that's more under the camera work. We did pixelation, which is animation of the human body. So each class we tried to concentrate to make sure that we at least did an exercise in something that we had discussed and how to do it. When you put all those still images together, you create a movement that way, the same way a flip book does, the same thing. So we actually did some flip book exercises. We talked about storyboards in animation, stop motion especially, well, all animation. I think storyboards are very important. I think it's great to do stuff just under the camera to play around and experiment. But the planning, it makes a big difference, because you always run up against something that you don't know how it's going to happen, and it's not very efficient to not storyboard stuff and be sure, iron out the details. The intention wasn't for people to come away with finished films. It's not realistic to set up 12 animation studios, and you wouldn't have time anyway. It's a great thing to collaborate with other people on. It's really, I think, a wonderful way to collaborate with other people, because there's so many little things. You know, if you have a big set, let's say, and you have movement at one end and movement at the other, you just have 2 people working together, and it's really actually a beautiful dance that happens. You know, I've had one film where I had, I think there were 7 different things that had to happen every single frame. So for 1 second of footage, 7 things 24 times. We did a lot of this in the class because it's so accessible and so fun. So this is just, I made this guy as an example. He's got the joints, the armature is just needle and thread, just a thread and tape. So you can see, you can get a lot of great movement out of it. So the camera would be pointing down. You're not worrying about gravity, pointing straight down, and you can get all kinds of movement out of a character. I wanted to give an example to students. So that's a face that was sculpted out of Sculpey, light Sculpey. It's twisted wire armature. The core parts of the body are made out of plumber's putty, so 2-part epoxy. It's like a putty. It becomes hard in about 20 minutes if you mix it right. It's got magnets on the feet to tie them down, and some sticky wax as well, because magnets never work that well. It's got a removable head, so sometimes in animation you might want to switch heads for talking or expressions, because if you have something that's not animatable, if it's not plasticine, then you can switch heads. Sometimes people just switch mouths. There's many possibilities. I had done this puppet originally with twisted wire, but I found that the angles of a hand, they're very square, and so they were getting really rounded with a wire. So I made it out of I learned how to make ball and socket armature. So it's a ball with 2 plates, and you can tighten it and that's at every joint. Then you can cover your puppet armature in various different materials. So this is a silicone covered puppet. This is a foam. This one's got foam covered. You can make it out of anything you can imagine, but yeah, this is silicone, so quite heavy. So she's got a solid Fimo head, and you can get quite a bit of expression without changing heads. It's just in your movement. Set up your camera, put it somewhere where it's solid, not going to be moved or touched when you're taking the pictures, either by voice command or USB, or it's attached to the computer and you're touching the computer to take the pictures. Make sure everything's solid and not going to be moved and you aren't going to be disturbed. And just take a ball of plasticine and move it around a bit.